सर नमस्कार। सर ଏବେ ଗୋଟେ ମିଟିଂ ଅଛି ପଛରେ କଥା ହେବି ଆପଣଙ୍କ ସହିତ ସर କିଛି ଖବର ନାହିଁ ଆଉ ନାବାର୍ଡରୁ କିଛି ଆସିନି। ହଁ ହଁ सर ସେ ମୁଁ ତ ତାଙ୍କୁ କହିଦେଇଛି ନା सर। सर नमस्कार। अरे ଏବେ ଗୋଟେ ମିଟିଂ ଅଛି ପଛରେ କଥା ହେବି ଆପଣଙ୍କ ସହିତ କିଛି ଖବର ନାହିଁ ଆଉ ନାବାର୍ଡରୁ କିଛି ଆସିନି। Hi, everybody. Good evening and welcome. So, those who are tuning in from my YouTube, welcome to this today's webinar. And you might have been spending time somewhere else, but thank you very much that you have chosen to be here and be part of this discussion. There are some ground rules that you have to be in for 90 minutes. You have to be here because the discussion needs 90 minutes to be completed. And any query of working professionals, it is not only that query. You know, there are many side questions related to that. So if as a working professional you are stuck, then it is not, the solution doesn't lie where the question is. It is somewhere else, which we might be seeing or might not be seeing, but we need to pay attention to. So many times it has been discovered by me that when somebody is complaining, the complaint doesn't come from the immediate situation. The complaint comes from a background. And I always thought why people kind of remember something happened in the past. Everybody says, no, you shouldn't be bringing on your past to your present, but that doesn't happen. Why? You know, experience counts at workplace, and your all your previous whatever you have done, that has a relevance in whatever you will be doing right now. It is your past performance only which will decide whether you will be eligible for a promotion or not, whether you should be trusted with something dependable or not, whether you have the capability to deliver it on time or not, whether anything very emergency kind of situation, can you handle that or not, whether you can handle people around or not. All these questions are not part of the present situation. It has a history, right? So that is why, and the history can come from any experience, whatever experience that person has had about you, that counts. And if that person is a decision maker, then it is us, we as person who are junior colleagues to that person, we need to pay attention to, and we need to be careful about. So this last week, I, of course, it is just 2 days before, somebody asked me that I have been okay, all right with everything, but the collaboration thing is not happening. When I approach people, they are uh, they are like they're not paying me any attention. They are not paying heed, or they are simply are indifferent to whatever I am saying. So today's, therefore, let me share the screen. So today's topic will be on how to collaborate. You know, I have 10 strategies for being highly productive. So it will be like, it is a collaboration which doesn't start from your proposal to start collaboration. It starts from somewhere else. And who this is for, who is looking for collaboration, although I think the person who has given me this question, how to collaborate, he has less than 6 years of experience. I think in another 2 years he should be able to figure out as to what went wrong. Right now he doesn't seem to take this solution, but as I say, the solution doesn't happen from the question itself. It has a history. It always has a history. A, somebody has some impression about you that matters, and your relationship with other people. You do you have a very good relationship with somebody who is indifferent to you? So if you don't have, then you have an excuse, right? So you have an excuse as to why your relationship is not good with that person. You will say that person doesn't pay attention to whatever I see. Fair enough. But how do you feel right now? It is a negativity towards that person, right? This negativity, this we are not considering why that person didn't pay heed. Supposing this is your starting point, and that person by nature is like that, and he is very indifferent to everything around. So if you know, then you understand as to why that person didn't pay attention. But if you didn't know, then you have formed an impression that this person, the other person, is like that. So in future, when that person approaches you for a collaboration, what will be your reaction? Given that you know now, in future you'll be now knowing that the person is normally, usually, by nature is an indifferent person. Now that person has a need, and he has approached you for a collaboration. How will you behave? Despite knowing all the things about him, you will consider that he didn't pay attention to your proposal some time back. So you will stay negative to that person. Now, any progress happened, that person didn't pay attention, you also didn't pay attention. What happens to the relationship? You will not be in a very good relationship with that person. So this is the starting point, right? So the bitterness between these two employees for a boss is not good. So the boss who is watching you and watching that person, he will never put you both in one team. So if there is an opportunity coming up in which he needs to accommodate just one, then you have a 50% chance to get accommodated. Otherwise, you would have had 100% chance to be accommodated. It is a prestigious project, and you might lose the 50, might lose, and you have a huge possibility of losing, huge possibility of 50% of not being chosen. So you have created a negative possibility for you, right? So if you go to that person and say, try asking, you demand an explanation why you were not chosen. That person will say, I will choose you next time. Better luck next time. Now. How do you feel? See, can you blame the person, your boss, of taking this decision? If you were the boss, you would have taken the same decision, right? So no blaming there. Now let us move forward. Who this is for? As I said, this is people who are stuck and feeling unfulfilled. Normally, people who are not able to make progress with anybody else at relationship space, uh, time management, he or she doesn't, he is not very resilient. All these are reasons, very valid reasons, maybe at your point, but you will find yourself at the receiving end, and you will not be chosen. So are you angry at not being chosen? Now my question is, are you feeling angry? And if you are feeling angry, how much dependent you are on the other person for a positive decision? How much you are dependent for your growth, a promotion, for the other on the other person for your promotion? Can you be honest as to where you lagged behind? What was that particular characteristic where somebody else scored over you? Will you be honest? Even if it pinches you, you will discover something very, very vital for yourself. What is that? When you are honest as to why the other person scored over you, you will you will start knowing as to whether you at all wanted to be in competition with that person. You lagged because it might be so that it is not your interest area. You're not primary interest area. It might have been very prestigious, but it is not your primary area. Now, from this argument, you will know that you have to fix your priority. Everything going on in the world will not be your priority. You cannot have everything at the moment. You cannot deliver, right? Humanly, it is not possible to be everywhere. So to have your depth, to have your presence felt, you need to do some significant work in one or two or three areas. So then you will start seeing the the blessing in disguise that you were not chosen because you were given time to do something which is of your interest. So next is the industry data. So suppose you are complaining, right? And you are not analyzing as to why you are complaining. What is bothering you? If you are not complaining, then you are constantly in dissatisfied stage. You are stagnant. You are stuck. That is what I call as stuck. When people are stuck, the reason might they give is salary relationship with boss. Of course, in this case that we are discussing today, it is relationship with boss and colleagues. Work condition might be supervision also, micromanagement, that is partly your problem also, relationship with peers. These might be the reason, but whatever may be the reason, when you are complaining, you are thinking about switching over a job. You are thinking of leaving this company and going somewhere else. And if you are a fresher right now, then of course you will take just 3 to 6 months to get another job, some other alternative. It doesn't, you might not as a fresher, you won't bother about what is the work condition and whether the same conditions, whatever was here prevails there or not. You will not bother, you will take another job. But as you grow in seniority, your experience is more, you will take 3 to 5 years to get a proper job, proper alternative of this job. Because now, as a senior person, you will think about the work condition, whether you have a better job or not, whether you have better boss or not, whether you have better package or not. All those things you will think. So it will take time. The industry data says that during this time, whoever, any employee, whoever is thinking about switching over a job functions at 20% productivity level. This is astounding. So a person, if he functions at 20% productivity level for 3 to 5 years, what happens to his potential? And if, of course, you will lose your self-confidence also, because at 20% productivity level, you are not going to achieve anything except yourself. Do you think anybody is responsible for this situation of yours? I don't think so. You should not also blame anybody else. The fault might have been lying with somebody else, because the reason because why you have decided to leave the job, but nobody is responsible when you take a choice to operate at 20% productivity level. That is completely your fault only. Do you realize this? So I actually took a market research about what my target professional, like say people who are at decision making level, 5 to 7 years of experience, they are aspiring for team lead positions. I took a market research to find out what actually bothers them, because I have seen people in very good position with good salary, they also are suffering, they are also stuck. Now, if you are looking at the screen, the left side of the screen is about workplace related issues. The right side is something else, right? It is it is because of this that they are not moving. When I probed a little at the surface, they say that it is a relationship with colleagues, boss, there is no proper growth, no salary hike, no recognition, all those things. But they also had comparison, fear of left behind at the workplace. And why that has come? Because they have been, like say, unsure of next course of action. They are very bad at decision making. They are not consistent. Even relationship with the spouse is not good, which is why their productivity level is very bad. Self doubt, motivation, inspiration is all bad. Friction with friends, lack of self acceptance, asking for help, finding more pain than pleasure. You will be surprised to see people like to be in pain. They always like to be in pain. They always like to complain rather than finding a solution. That is the biggest problem of working professional, who always complain about one thing or the other. No sharing, fear of change, fear of failure, something amiss, fear of getting judged, slave mindset, restlessness, concentration, planning deficit. So these are the peculiar kind of things why working professionals are bothered. They will not say this in front. They will try to hide behind something else, some other complaint, but these are the places. And the main thing, and all those problems can be categorized into 10 category, which is about life decision, work decisions, competition, communication, confidence, colleagues, learning a skill, embarking on a big vision, managing time, fail forward. Right? Just give me a minute. So these are the 10 categories with which you are suffering. So now, uh, the frequently, uh, uh, like say, occurring problems with working professionals. They say something, they think something, and they do something. What do I mean by that? Time management is a problem. They will always be at least 15 minutes late. They will say that they will appear, they will come to some place, they will not come. They will think something else after committing that they will come, and they will not come. So that is the biggest integrity problem in a working professional. That is the first thing, and all other problems are in addition to that, right? So if these two, time management and solving this integrity issue, if these two can be resolved somehow, by anybody. 80% of problems will be solved. That is what I feel. Right? So how to deal with this? And my strategy is resourceful influencing. What, how it all started? How, how come I came up with this kind of phrase or say terminology? I used to be a star performer. Maybe many of you are. What? But I was never the boss for a great for 12 years or so. I used to complain a lot, but I loved my work. Are you like this? You complain, but you love your work. So if everything gets okay, then you will love your work more. You can do better. That is what you feel. So this was me some time back. The third is I could handle a variety of tasks in emergency. So any emergency situation, I am assigned, I'll do that. While I was never trained for that. So anything just abstract you give me, I'll solve that. And then I attended a HR workshop meant for HR professional, and I was not a HR professional. I was the senior most professional from a small organization. That is why I attended that. And there had to, I had, I had to present the HR policy of that organization, and everybody appreciate. So that was the first time I realized that I could manage in an emergency situation. Any solution I can manage. So that was my first experience of resourcefulness. I understood resourcefulness that time. Everybody understands this. So then I was sent to Rajasthan where I had to enumerate like say 44 lakh women in 2 months. That one I did. Then I was at Meghalaya for 2 years. Here we were implementing this national e-governance project. That one I did. This was a very technical kind of project. The third one is that was Andhra Pradesh in Telangana where I did analysis. I tracked the repayment issue because there was something called Andhra Pradesh crisis had happened, and it was a legislation because of which microfinance. That time I was in microfinance, and that field suffered. And then I went to Madhya Pradesh, Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve, where I did alternative livelihood solution for the fringe villages of that tiger reserve. People were getting into the core and they were getting killed. So the forest department wanted us to formulate a alternative solution. So I noticed while delivering all these things, these were huge projects. I'll tell more about what was my achievement in a second, but I noticed that I was not looking to be the boss anymore. I was looking for challenging tasks. So this is something of a discovery about me. So it might be same with you. You might not be looking for any any senior role, or might be looking for that, but that is not the core of what you are looking for. That might be something else. So my core is challenging task and finding a solution. I wanted to be a theme expert rather than an admin something, right? Not an admin head. I wanted to be thematic expert. And where from that came, like say a poet is recognized all over the world. A king is recognized only in his kingdom. You know, this was my this was my driving what you can concept inside my mind, which is why it is driving me in this way. So in between, because I was not able to take decisions, because I was not a boss, so I was not able to take a decision. So what was required? A collaboration with the boss was required. And that one I found out while working with these 5 big projects. I knew collaboration is essential. Team building, we can say, is essential to do big. And I was known in this company. And I got into a company, I got into a bigger company, and after 2 years of attending that HR workshop, I got into a bigger company by virtue of that performance only, because that was attended by people from bigger organization, and they appreciated my work and they recommended me, and I was recruited. Otherwise, I didn't have a chance to be recruited into that company. Now it is not being the boss, it is being how capable you are and how much you have you know proven yourself, that matters. So ultimately it is the task you love rather than the designation. And why people are stuck, people say, you might be saying the same thing, that there was no reward, no expertise, no salary raise, no promotion, no opportunity, no recognition, no incentive. As a result of that, there is no leadership growth either. Now, leadership growth is something which I would like to explain. Leadership growth is you can be a leader anywhere you are. Like I explained my case. I was not the boss, but I was leading some very challenging tasks. So that is what leadership is. Wherever you are doing your best and you are doing whatever you love. These are the two things, and you are doing very well. And in the process, you are leveraging others' capability also, right? That is what leadership is. Leadership, as it is not about authority. It is about when people who are with you are becoming more, they are contributing more, and that is what leadership is all about. So I'm meaning only that, and that makes you fulfilled. No amount of money, no amount of authority makes you fulfilled unless you do something for others, unless people are feeling fulfilled for themselves. So now the questions to yourself is, there are 3 questions to ask. The first is, how do you perceive yourself? Second question is, how do people perceive you? And the third question is, how do you think people will talk about you? That is, what will be their perception about you after you are gone? So if these 3 are the questions, then I'll bring resourceful influencing as the solution. What do you think about yourself? Are you thinking that you are capable enough? And how do you recognize that? You would recognize if you can find out what resources are existing, how the process will work, what process you will adopt, who you need to become, and why this choice, why this resource. So there are 3 resources. One is time, another is money, and the third is HR, right? So managing these 3 will take care of those 3 questions that you have. How do you perceive yourself? How people perceive you, and how people will think about you, right? The next generation. So this is resourcefulness. And influencing means you overcome the challenges consistently, always. So in being resourceful once in a while is not something with which you can influence. You have to do it over and over and over again. So what are the challenges? What will be the process? Who you can team up with, and why necessary? Influencing is always the other person, right? So which person is for this job? Now, if this is the person with whom you are teaming up, then you need to tell that person that it is your unique capability that you have. It will take this work further. So please join here. Whenever you collaborate with somebody, always talk about the win-win situation, right? This is what influencing is all about. And what resourceful influencing does, it creates a chain reaction without you doing anything. You have to do two things only. You have to be one with your thought, action, words, and you have to create win-win situation with all your resources, especially if it is HR. So it wins recognition and reward, of course. It creates resilience because you are doing it all the time. Because people will start noticing that you always take up and you pursue the work till it is finished. The third is it overcomes struggles and challenges because you influence, you are not alone. You are with other people also. You are teaming up with other people, so you are not in the struggle yourself. So it is not breaking your own head only. It is a team working with you, and it unravels relevance. How you are relevant because you are the catalyst, right? Even if your any talent of yours is not directly utilized, it will be utilized, of course. But the unique thing is not everybody will make this team. When you are in a team building situation, every team is very different, and you have to become a different person to manage that team. And the person who manages different teams is a relevant person for any team, any big work, right? So that unravels your relevance and it propels towards reaching beyond without feeling burnt out. Now you don't have to tell anybody that you are capable. Everybody now knows. You stand out. Everybody knows your relevance. Everybody looks for you. And everybody wants you to give more so that you can grow more. So it is not in terms of others, what others giving you. It also is about what you are giving, what you are achieving, what you have become so that you are outgrowing this. And while outgrowing, actually, you are leaving leaders like you behind. You are not actually breaking the entire system and going somewhere. It is building the system step by step everywhere, right? Another thing is you make yourself irrelevant after some time to routine work, irrelevant to routine work, right? And how the influence path is, that is what we'll be training here. It is uniqueness differentiates you, of course, whatever your USP is. While you are unique, the other person also is unique. So you recognize the other person's uniqueness also. That creates respect for you, admiration for you. The third is when you have a good team, it you can do more. So that proves your resilience. And third is you make growth obvious. You stand out to get 3x growth. So the three secrets are managing self, managing people, and managing time. Now, the 10 strategies that I have, I call them as potency, progress, perception, process, partnership, passion, pattern, performance, pregnancy, and puzzle. I'll discuss that one by one. The first one is potency, which is identifying strength. I'll give you this core thing, core test, which you can do and find out your personality all by yourself. And what leadership you are, you will find out from those tests. So there are 18 kinds of personality type, and you can find out which one is you. That will give you a lot of clarity about how you think. You are not you are not all over the place. You are just a particular person. But mind you, there will be a little bit of another kind also within you, because it is not completely standalone kind of thing. You can have an achiever, can have a two, three, like say, a part of finisher, a bit of administrator, bit of entrepreneur, bit of debater as well. Similarly, an innovator can have be a planner, an administrator, a logistician. It's like that. So a bit of everything will be there within your leadership type. So accept whatever your leadership type, and right now you can start from there. And if in your leadership type, if collaboration is one important point, then of course you will find out the way. And what my presumption is, because collaboration is not your strength point, if you are struggling as a leader, that needs to be cultivated. And personality type, leadership type changes over a period of time. It depends on the experience you have. So I have listed down few of the characteristic of some of the leaders, but this one you will find yourself. So we are not going to discuss it now. So once you do, there are few things, few winning points that I can tell is, with those characteristics that you will find out about yourself, it will be five strengths. Suppose as soon as you have five strengths, you will have five weaknesses. Why you have weaknesses? Everybody has to have those weaknesses, because weakness is the other part of the point, other side of the point. So I call them as altered strength, because unless those weaknesses are there will be never a strength. So with five strengths, five altered strengths, and five traits, like say there is a feeling, judging, sensing, um, advocating type. If you are one of those, then those are five, then 50, one skill, one aptitude. This makes about 17 unique thing about you. Out of those, take one aspect from each. So it will be like say four or five aspect from each. So that makes one story. And if you take that as like say five aspects out of 17, one at 17 at a time, then it becomes like say 1 lakh plus stories. But how many stories do you know about yourself? Those are the stories you already have, but you haven't remembered or figured out or haven't thought in that manner. So at least 100 success stories, your competency stories, will be formulated here within 7 days of your joining the course. Win over your boss in 3 days without bothering. So far, I spoke about collaboration. So it will take you just 3 days to see the perspective, and you will win over him within 3 days. Who you can become a go-to person in 21 days. So after so much of realization, after you know that your capabilities are within this, then people will start relating to you, and you will become a go-to person. So that also we can find out, right? And who you can become, design your leadership style in 90 days. So those leadership style we just figured out, whatever is your leadership style, and in addition to that, whatever you want to become, those can be inculcated or put inside your leadership style as well. And then this aha catalyst is another aspect of your story, your personality. Somebody will see you and he will like you. Some other person will see you and he won't like you. Why that is so? It is because there are four characteristics about attitude, habit, action, and perception. So action defines your personality, habit strengthens your credibility, action enhances your dependability, perception creates a reality. That is how your leadership rating happens. So something perception. Today morning only I was speaking to somebody. I told that if somebody is stuck in your circle, then why not tell them to join this so that we can discuss and find out a solution for them. He said, I don't chat. I don't have time for chatting. I said, I didn't ask you to chat. Is it chatting? When you give your friend a solution, is it chatting? Do you think it is like conversation and wastage of time? No, you are helping somebody to get a solution, right? So, anyways, that is a perception, and if it is a negative perception, you will you will do bad to yourself only, right? Because the other person doesn't even remember what you told. Then 100% productive in 24 hours. It takes little tricks, as I told you. Whatever you say, just be careful to do that. Then you can become 100% productive in 24 hours. It doesn't take that much because you don't know how to do it. That the moment you know, it is a simple thing. It is just becoming aware of something which you haven't been doing so far. Monetize one skill in 30 days. Already you are monetizing your skill and you are in a job, right? So, do you have another skill or do you want to learn something that can be taught to you in 30 days, right? One of the digital skill. Right? Digital skill means what? You can create a landing page, you can create your YouTube channel, maybe that. You can help others to create YouTube channel. You can start storytelling yourself. So, for if you want to start storytelling, how do you think you should approach this thing? So you have to find out a story. The story has to be relevant to whatever you are doing, and then tell in a way that the other person responds to it. That can be a story. Then establish a tracker that triples your income within a year. So it has, I don't know what is the principle behind this, but as soon as you start with keeping account of whatever money that you are spending or receiving, somehow your income starts doubling. It has happened to me time and again. And many friends, whoever I described this, they also say the same thing. And who you can become, start living 4 days week from next week. So you will complete all your work in 4 days and you will be free for the rest of the 2 days. Of course, you need to go to office if it is a 6 days office. But even in office, your physical presence is required, right? And there are small things that would be required of you, but you can already finish those work, and these 2 days that you go extra to your office, you can do something which you like in your work. If you do something which you like, then it is not work, right? Become an insightful person in 21 days. How can you become insightful? If you observe, rectify, tweak whatever you have observed, like say, you have to be very, very sensitive towards whatever your day has been. It has brought failure, it has brought success, whatever. You know, that insightfulness will come to you and turn a global dream into reality from next Sunday. It happens very quickly. So the moment you decide that you won't waste food, you won't uh, have say kind of extra energy, like say excessive use of fossil fuel or something. That is the moment, and then you will not waste water. That's the moment you are contributing something to the global dream. And characteristic of a resourceful mindset is he is a giver, basically. And he does about existing opportunity, recognizes ongoing difficulties, he knows and find out a solution. Strength of himself and others, he will find out. Weaknesses, he will leverage. He will keep his team in such a way that this will be leveraged, and follow a proven discipline. And action points is he will observe, reflect, rectify, tweak, and journal them regularly. This is called daily wins, with which he will become an insightful person. So your competency story, remember the competency story. Why do you need competency story? Because those are the stories you will be telling to people as to how you have achieved something. Unless you tell somebody, how people will know about you? So these are useful, right? Whenever you tell a story in an anecdotal manner, people are impressed. So tell those stories. So once you know those stories, you can tell, right? And my backstory is I have so far trained 18,000 professionals, and whoever I train, they have become independent and they have two skills. And why I do? It is because positivity, creativity, and becoming more. That is why I do, and you might be also doing. That is the basic thing that we work. These are few of the uh, thing that missions, and my mission is to impact 1 billion lives with 1 lakh super performing global players in 139 countries with multi-billion dollar enterprise. I I will be, I am working towards it. This is one method in which I create webinar and trying to tell people, but maybe I'll follow something else uh, quickly. And this is not quick decisions, but with your experience, you can do this. And my system is Resourceful Influence Club, and this is the blueprint with which I will train you. It is pretty simple. It is about finding your uniqueness, how to build your capability, build your resilience, and how to influence. And with that, you have to have these four categories with which your personality will be different from others. So you can score a lot on dependability if you can put emphasis on these four. Right? So second is that is all about knowing yourself. Second is the response pattern. So um, how do you respond to a situation, right? These will be coming from your personality test that you will be doing. There will be positive side and a negative side, and you can use these slides to figure out what will be your positive side and negative side. And your response pattern will define your strategic position, how you sell your idea and personality. So how do you do that? It will when you start, it is about your, you will not say I have done this, I have done that, and you said I help people doing this, I help people in this manner. That is what is called subtle assertion. And in that, who, what, how, and why, these are the four questions you have to ask in a subtle assertion. You have to ask yourself, right, who you are. So you remember who you are. You don't have to tell that. What you are passionate about. Your your language, your choice of words will convey that. You can solve the problem. How you can solve the problem? This one you will tell people. And this one will be your story also. That story you should tell. And fourth is why you are the best person. So there may be many people who have done this solution, but why you are the best person? You definitely are the best person, but you have to tell your idea about why you should be chosen. The second is strong conviction. So when you are saying that you are the best person, you should know that you are the best person and why. Because you have a conviction, because you know that this is because you take ownership kind of. When you are convinced and your conviction is very strong, then the other person gets to know that you will take ownership of the entire problem. So even though other people are there who will be maybe better educated, better placed, better skilled, but they might not have the ownership. So you will convey about your ownership if you have a strong conviction. The third is suitable obsession. You have to be a mad person, no obsessed person, to be able to owning this. You are not thinking that this is only office work. You are thinking this as a mission. So that obsession you need to convey, but that is suitable. Suitable. Your words should be very suitable. It should not appear sound bombastic. Right. Fourth is subliminal orientation. This is about influencing the other person in a subtle manner. That person should know as to what will be the benefit by hiring you, right? And the fifth thing is synergizing conversation. Most of the interview, they will ask some irritating question at some time. You have to just smoothen that irritation and tell them that as a team, you and them, it will be the best team. So you have to focus on the positive side of whatever proposition you are making. So that is what your response pattern is. The third is mentoring. So I'll tell this story about some of the mentees that I have done. They have given me some extraordinary testimonial, and why I tell, and this is very significant part of my course also. Mentoring is something in which you prepare your second line to take over you when you are quitting. So why should you do that? That is the sustainability you are building in any organization till you are there. You are making a system that helps the organization forever. It is the organization doesn't remain dependent on you for anything. That is the first thing. The second thing is, in order to have 4 days week, you need to train your people how to tackle the routine work, how to do the planning, how to come up when there is a requirement in a team. All those things comes under mentoring. So that is why mentoring. Unless you do mentoring, you have to head everything on your own. There will be no question of any freedom from the job or no growth, and you will not get time to improve upon your own skills. This is the best way to do. The fourth strategy that I say is managing challenges. What, how did I manage? I went to this is the Meghalaya. First I went to Rajasthan. I told you in 2 months time I did 44 lakh enumeration, which means 25,000 a day, and I couldn't have done that. I did with the help of a team that was of 12,000 strong, but all of them were not there at the same time. So every district we had 65 camps at any given day, and every camp was manned by 10. So at every, it was like say in 30, 29 districts, which means 10, 30, 300 into 65. It is like that. 65 means how many? Those many people were there in those camps at any given time. So it was a huge challenge, right? How to train them, how to equip them, all those. And this is at Meghalaya, as soon as we did this e-governance, national e-governance project, there was this installation of 239 CSC centers. And there has to be a business plan to each center because these people were not salaried people. So this business plan I made, and this is the Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve that I was talking about. So there was a tiger threat. I lived there. Don't you think that was a challenge? The five thing was handling change. So I was, after doing all this, I was chosen to be the HR head of the organization, and there also I did design kind of 40, 40 incentive packages for different levels of employees. So that was not very suitable, not very soothing, not very palatable to many of the senior people. So they put me at Khunti again, where there was a dead watershed. I revived that. So that watershed became celebrated, and I mobilized so many ladies. So that is how you manage change. Right? The change factor actually in Meghalaya also, when I was there, somehow people were kind of, they didn't like, maybe whatever was the reason, they withdrew me from the field. So I designed an ecosystem, um, ecotourism out there. So it is functioning right now. That time nobody accepted, but because I did the skeletal structure, it is working right now in the entire Northeast. Although I did for Meghalaya and Sikkim partly also. So that is how you manage change. Something change happens, you do something which which is required, right? Emotional intelligence is the biggest part. So it is about connecting with people. That is what I understand as emotional intelligence to be. So here I worked in Bandhavgarh. I worked with people who were illiterate. They were never out of their houses. But in 4 years' time, they formed a federation. These are the ladies in two segments of the clusters, and they won together 17 awards in 4 years. And one of the ladies, she won the CIA award. They broke the mustard production record of the Madhya Pradesh. They became food sufficient. Ladies became leaders. They became members of the district governing board. They won an award from Mr. Narendra Modi, the then Chief Minister of Gujarat. Devti Bai, she told that Punji is the Punji. So small capital as the way out of poverty. That is what she told. Mr. Anand Sharma felicitated her, the then industry minister. Another farmer won MS Swaminathan Award, and a lady won Best SSG Leaders from the Andhra Pradesh governor. So those were the emotional intelligence on my part as to how to connect with these ladies, these resources. These ladies, illiterate ladies, were my HR, with them only I could devise this alternative livelihood solution. So that is what I did. Sometimes they ignored me. Sometimes there are bad elements also. There is some bad motivation also. All that thing were happening. But ultimately, what was the result? The area became food sufficient. That was my achievement, right? Then managing ambiguity. Your boss says something, you say something. So at Meghalaya only, it was like, say, for 1.5 years, my boss, he didn't like me actually, uh, because I was in competition with somebody uh, who he favored. Anyways, maybe I was responsible in some way or other, but I found out this technological solution about how to connect these CSCs to a central server. So we proposed data card and VSATs for them. So for my company, gave those 5 VSATs and those data cards, and afterwards, with the success of this, Meghalayan government donated 42 VSATs. Don't you think that this was the ambiguity I managed well with my company, the government, my boss, and everything? You One should focus on the solution. If you focus on the solution, or other things are solution only. Nobody will stop you from attaining the solution if you have a solution and if you are implementing it, right? Practicing mindfulness. Emotional intelligence is something about practicing the mindfulness. It is very easy to get irritated because situations are changing, so much changes are happening, so much challenges are there, things are not happening, you are put at a very odd place where there is no facility. How do you manage? It is about the focus, the ultimate goal, the conviction, right? So it is also about, like, say, don't try to spread so much. Now integrate within so that you can work further, right? So all the experiences combined together, I did that. So as you grow in your experience, you should start knowing what is the focal point that you should work, take forward, and all those things. So it is reaching beyond is how you utilize your time. Uh, with all those things, the first indicator is first the integration, all your experiences, right? And how I did that is facilitated everybody to work more, innovated in some way, synergized with various stakeholders, focus on the work that I was doing, started small. Even if it was a big dream, I started small and integrated all the experiences. And whatever prior experience and existing experiences are there, all those are plus points. And daily wins. This is an exercise I do all the time. It is about having a global vision, and I every day something happens, I create a story out of it, and it is a winning story. So it is like, say, net zero living 2080. How can I contribute? Whatever way I can contribute, I do that. And even if writing one pager is a win for me, this is attending something, and this is a dreaming also is part of a daily win. This is a dream to work with the Professor Nobel laureate Professor Muhammad Yunus to create social enterprise so that we can handle disaster, frequent disaster in the eastern side of India. Then learning a skill, that is monetizing skill. That is what I am learning, and my digital journey has started. This is my mentor, and this is his mentor. This digital world is changing the education scenario of the world, and India had been an educator for centuries, right? Thousands of years. So we are again changing that, and now I have won the first stage of the this journey, and I have 12. This is a mentor from Singapore, and these are the 12 mentors I am learning from right now. And Blair Singer is their mentor. This 12 people's mentor, and he is the coach of Robert Kiyosaki. And these are some of the testimonial of the digital people. And this is my mentor, professional mentor in my workplace, who is a big name in the financial scenario in microfinance. He has given me a big compliment. And here is the curriculum. Let me show you the curriculum. So the it is leadership growth blueprint. It tells you about how to be unshakably productive, how to reframe your self-assessment questions every day you need to do. The moment you feel something bad is happening, you should do this. Using superpowers, finding your superpowers. My superpowers might be very different from yours, but yours will be yours, unique. So that is my flagship course, and the 5 bonuses you will get for free are the how to have the morning routine where morning thoughts will come true, build a big team, and choose your version 10, because the whatever your internal pattern, no, you need to power up with it. And there has to be divergent models. How can you have, when you have a team, you will have different perspectives, right? You can name them as A plan, B plan, C plan, coming from three different people and three perspectives who are not echoing your thoughts. And as I spoke about mindfulness, there are some exercises I do which I can give you, and it is just a tweaking of your mindset rather than meditating or any exercise or any puja or anything. It is not like that. It is just a thought process. With me, you will sit and we will do this thought exercise. Continuous upgrade is always focus on you becoming the best. You raise your powers. Always do that. And second rank nurturing, as I say, it is mentoring. And this is about monetizing your skill, right? These are the five things. And there will be frameworks given to you on how to have your better self image, dream tracker, how to jump your versions, because today whatever you are with 1% improvement, you can become version 2 of your own self. Then creative advantage, and those are there. So there are 30 kinds of frameworks that I can give you which will excel you. You can take any of them or all of them. You can take all of them and start working. These are not very big. These are just one page or two page of things. But it will take an exercise. But it will create a blueprint of your own. You are a person of your own. You will create a blueprint of your own. There will be 30 blueprints with which you will transform yourself on your own. So that is what I'll do. And actually, I'll help you in 2 weekly classes. And this is for life. Once you take these classes, will be for life. You will be part of my community for life, right? And there will be 30 of them. Each one is a 47, each one is valued at $47, right? So the initial thing that I give is with my flagship program, there are 5 of them, 5 bonuses. Each one is valued at say 9,900, 999, 6,000, and total value is 59,994. And the practice frameworks are valued at 1,11,000, and together they are 1,70,000. But if you take this within say 7 days of this webinar, then you get it at 5,999 only, right? So the questions will be like whether you can get, let me stop sharing. The questions will be whether you can get any support if you need something else in between. Of course, you will get. I have covered every topics that workplace working professional face exhaustively in those practice sessions. Frameworks I have created. You will ask certain questions and you will answer certain questions, and you will know where you are faltering, and you will create your own solution, and that is done. Right? Once that is done, you will know, right, for yourself as to what to be done. And if you come back to me, then we can resolve that out. we can create that roadmap your own way. So that's it. And I'll wait for your response.